Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, distinguished guests, esteemed viewers joining us from all over the world. I'm delighted to welcome you to another insightful edition of our business and empowerment show, where ideas come alive, businesses are refined, and leaders are empowered. I'm excited to have you join today's session on a relevant conversation on wealth versus stability. What should should businesses prioritize right now? I remain Comfort Eyitayo, your regular host for Connect with Comfort show. And on this program, we aim to add value to people on business, enterprise, personal growth. Each show is organized to feature special guests who are usually subject matter experts as they help us to throw more insight on the topic of the day. You are most welcome once again. We are glad you're able to join us. Across industries today, businesses are facing difficulties. Realities is making this happen. There are rising operational costs, fluctuating exchange rates, shrinking consumer spending, as well as economic uncertainty. There's an intense pressure to remain profitable. Even if you are a one-man business, you want your business to be profitable for you to be able to grow. And if you are running the business on behalf of a group of people, you have to also render a profitable outcome. So in times like this, many business owners are asking some critical questions. Should we aggressively pursue growth and wealth creation, or should we focus more on stability, sustainability, and survival? Is rapid expansion still wise in uncertain times? How can businesses balance ambition with caution? These are important conversation every entrepreneur, executives, investors, and professionals should be having right now. And to help us unpack this important subject, we have a special guest already with us. But before I go ahead and introduce our guest, we'll go on this short break. Please remain connected as this promises to be insightful and transformational. We'll be right back after this time out. You are most welcome back. Our esteemed audience, you are welcome to meet our special guest for today. She is no other than Susan Charles. Susan Charles is a seasoned educational consultant, and exceptional corporate trainer, bringing a dynamic blend of expertise with over 15 years in education and transformative years in corporate training. Her unique career trajectory positions her as a leading authority in delivering impactful solutions for both the education sector and the corporate world. With a robust academic foundation, Susan holds a bachelor degree in business management education and a master's degree in early childhood education. She further honed her leadership acumen with an executive mini MBA in leadership and management from the prestigious Accra Business School, Ghana. As a fellow of the African Leaders Fellowship Program, she has consistently demonstrated visionary leadership in her field. Susan currently serves as the director of Birch Hill Consulting, a multifaceted consulting firm specializing in teacher training, school restructuring, and organizational improvement services. Under her leadership, the firm has become a trusted partner for schools and corporate organizations seeking tailored strategies for growth and success. As a connector of innovative solutions in education and technology, Susan's passion for capacity building, coupled with her strategic insights, makes her the ideal choice for businesses and institutions seeking transformative training experiences. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me in making welcome our special guest for today, Susan Charles. You are most welcome, Susan. Thank
Thank you,
you for
ma'am. Good
accepting to do
evening.
this for us.
Good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. So, without much further ado, let us define the concept. In order to set the foundation for this conversation, when we talk about wealth and stability in business, what exactly do these terms mean, and how should business owners understand the difference?
Okay, so I'll start briefly with wealth. So wealth is about growth, is about profitability, and creating long-term value for a business. Stability, on the other hand, is the ability to navigate uncertain times, the ability to have staying power, and the ability to maintain operations and remain sustainable over time. So for every business owner that must not just survive the times, but also thrive, they would need a collaboration. So you know the way they say it in our local parlance, na collabo, right? We need a collaboration between growth and stability for a business to thrive in these times.
Thank you very much. That is wonderfully put. Looking at the present economic realities globally and especially within emerging economies such as ours, why has this conversation become more important now than ever before?
Okay, so it's very important because Our We live in a time right now where things are very uncertain. You have inflation, you have rising cost of living, rising cost of operations, and every business must begin to rethink their strategies if they must remain sustainable and remain profitable. So it's important for business owners to focus not just on making money, but also providing value, because everybody, wants to get value for their money, and they must also build sustainability and resilience. Um, it's not a time that anybody has ever been in, so business owners must be very innovative about how to navigate the times. So they would need a healthy blend of wealth creation as well as stability to maintain operations, but still remain innovative and relevant in the economic climate that we find ourselves.
Fantastic. Now you have talked about collabo, but let us look at I like the word. Let us look at the strength of each word, that is growth versus survival. Many businesses still desire aggressive expansion
Yes.
despite economic uncertainty. In your opinion, should businesses prioritize rapid growth or survival and stability first? Or survival and stability first?
Okay, every business that wants to remain sustainable has to prioritize stability first. Before you grow, you
Fine.
must first survive.
Stable. Yes.
Yes. And if you don't check your stability and you just rapidly expand, what happens is that you are scaling your
Mm,
chaos. So it might look like it's getting bigger, but I like to see it as a ticking bomb. When a bomb is about to explode, it gives the illusion of growth. So it's growing bigger and everyone is cheering, not realizing that it's about to explode. And if it explodes like that, it goes into nothingness. So I'll give a practical experience with me leading at Virtual Consulting. So a few years ago, we began to grow, and it was a really exciting time for me. We had international partnerships and the team was growing in leaps and bounds. And because I'm a very passionate person, I give all or nothing. So I was I was deceived that everyone felt the same way. And so we used to have regular retreats where we talk about the vision, the mission, the core values, our ethos, right? And I didn't realize that I wasn't documenting everything. So I assumed that everyone had bought into what I had in my head. Okay. And so we had grown, I think in about a year, we doubled our team. Now, what happened was that one of our team members who was passionate but didn't know how to manage emotions went to a client, and something happened. It was a school and something happened there. And instead of her to channel the issue to the management, she went and had a meltdown and started to shout and rant and all of that. And that was our biggest client at the time. Of course, we lost the contract. And I began to see that not everybody had bought into the dream as it was in my head, right? And I just realized I was scaling, but I was scaling chaos. And so the team, I wouldn't like to say the team shrunk. I'd like to say the team grew downwards, right? And we realized that we didn't have a very strong foundation on which to build upon. So it was like having a foundation for maybe a bungalow, and then you build a skyscraper on top of it. Of course, it won't stand the test of time. So it crashed, and we had to like restart the whole thing and start to build again from scratch. So now that we are building and growing, we are not building blind. We are building from experience. We are building with lessons learned from that mistake. So businesses should prioritize stability, should pace their systems, pace their finances, and pace their operations at the level that they can sustain. When they are sure they can sustain that without any issues, then they can take it up and then keep growing from there.
Very, very good. And then the one important thing that our audience to take care, the caution of is scaling your chaos. Don't multiply your chaos. That is
Very
very
true.
key. So the day that is part of that is speaking to the danger of chasing wealth too quickly. So what are some of the other dangers? You've given us example, but other dangers businesses face when they become excessively focused on revenue growth and wealth accumulation without building operational stability.
The major one in my experience is operational stress and staff burnout. The system is stressed out because there is no clarity on what each person is supposed to do per time. Everyone is running around in a circle trying to get things done and may not necessarily even be the best way to do it. So everyone is doing it the way they think it should be, and what happens is the system is stressed out, the staff will be stressed out, and that would result in poor customer experience. So your customers will not be experiencing the quality of service that they're supposed to be getting. So once you are focused on just revenue growth, it begins to impact upon your perceived value and capacity. So growth should never take the place of capacity. So basically, these are the major problems that you face when you chase revenue growth and put stability by the side.
That actually speaks to what I was going to look at, that is stability, which is the other coin of it, stability without growth. We've talked about growth without looking at stability first. So, what of stability without growth? That is, on the other hand, can a business become too conversational, conservative rather, in the name of stability and eventually lose relevance or competitive advantage?
Yes, absolutely. So there was a statement I heard a couple of months ago, and it rang so true that a lot of people disguise stagnation as expertise. So I'm an expert, I've done this a million times, and you find that people are actually stagnant and they're disguising that as expertise. So if a business becomes overly conservative, they risk becoming obsolete, they risk becoming irrelevant because I mean, innovation is key. With the way times are changing, every business that must thrive must innovate. And in fact, there's the way one of my mentors put it. He says, to continue to gain, to continue to be relevant in the market, you must iterate and iterate quickly. So you must have rapid feedback loops, rapid feedback cycles. And the only way to have that is to constantly innovate, look for faster, smarter, leaner ways to get things done, faster ways to solve old problems, or more innovative ways to actually solve new problems. Stability is not equals to stagnation. Stability is not equals to fear. Every business, even though you are chasing stability, you must remain adaptable and you must remain forward thinking. You must find faster ways to do it, and you must create rapid feedback cycles so that your team is learning as they go and innovating as they go as well.
Thank you very much. So we do not risk stagnation so that our growth is not stunted just because we are trying to be conservative.
Very
That's
true.
uh, that is a good one. Now, there's one thing that we all agree is important for businesses, which is the cash flow. In fact, the other name for the cash flow is the blood of the is a bloodline for businesses.
Yes.
So, one major challenges
Hello. Hello, ma'am. I can't hear you. I lost you for a minute there.
Being relevant in your field of occupation is proof that you are properly educated. When my parents and I were thinking about my university education, Bowen University Iwo was our first choice. Bowen University helps you to get the most of whatever course you're studying and also educates you on how to excel in a competitive labor market. From the day I arrived here, I knew when I would graduate, and my mind has been positively transformed since then, thanks to my able lecturers. My name is Salumi. I am a medical student, a sanctuary keeper, and a violinist at Bowen University. To the medical world, remember my name.
Bowen University for excellence and godliness.
Under the glow of the very bright lights, I turn my face towards the warm night skies, and I am not afraid of 1,000 eyes, and they're above 500 smiles. Oh, I used to think, what wouldn't I give a moment like this moment, this gift. Now look at me and this opportunity is standing right in front of me. One thing I know, it's only part luck and soul. I'm putting on my best show. Under the spotlight, the start of my life. Big dreams becoming real tonight. So look at me and this opportunity. You're witnessing my moment, you see.
Hello? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
ma'am. I'm here. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I can.
sorry, it's network that struck. It's one of the
Okay.
downside of technology that we have to take with
Very
the
true.
yeah. So, like I was saying, it's about cash flow. The major challenge is that many businesses face cash flow pressure. How important is cash flow management in balancing wealth creation and business stability?
So, cash flow is the lifeblood of every business. A profitable business can still fail, if cash is not properly managed, if they have poorly managed cash flow. And so, strong cash flow management will give you flexibility, will give you confidence, and will give you the ability to navigate through difficult times, to tide every business through. So, cash flow management is something that every business owner that is serious about, standing the test of time needs to take very seriously.
Very true. Is that important? Something we describe as bloodline. We know that if there's no blood, the inevitable happens. So
Exactly.
we need to really take care of that. Let's look at some smart priorities for SMEs, medium enterprises.
Enterprises.
For categories of business that may not have large financial reserves, what should be the immediate priorities in this?
Okay, so the first one would be to strengthen customer relationships and to improve operational efficiency. So you need to look at your cost of operations. There are some things that might be nice to have, but they are not necessities for your business. So SMEs should prioritize cost control. They should prioritize operational efficiency. Of course, they should prioritize cash flow management, but they should strengthen customer relationships because um, so many people focus on outward marketing to get new customers, not remembering to keep satisfying present customers and increase your return rates. So it's a good time to focus on your value delivery rather than unnecessary expansion. So SMEs should drill deep before they go wide. So go deep before you go wide. If not, you might end up going wide and you are just an inch deep. Whereas people who have decided to drill deep are enjoying the resources and they can take their time. And when they scale sustainably.
Very true, very true. And the advice also helps them to stabilize better. When you dig deep, you find your footing, then you'll be able to now say you are expanding. That's very
Exactly.
correct. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, um, let us look at some signs of stable business.
Mm.
What are some warning signs that indicate a business may be pursuing growth in an unhealthy or unstable way?
The first one is a lack of structure, and that lack of structure shows up in um, either unclear or no documentation at all of the policies, the processes, and the procedures of the organization. So a lot of organizations, I mean, I work with schools and I work with businesses. What I've seen over time is that a lot of them are flying by the seat of their pants. Just they try something, is accidental. There's no intentionality with it. So they try something and it yields result. They don't document the process that it took them to get there, and they're just going with the flow. Eventually, what will happen is that they will not be able to sustain their service delivery or the quality of service that they offer to their clients. They will not be able to uphold their value proposition. So you would not get the same quality of service for all of your clients. So of course, one of the things is lack of clarity. There is no clarity, there's no documentation. The staff will be exhausted because expectations are unclear and there's just a lot of chaos in the system. And then no proper records in place, financial records, operational records. And um, by the time this growth or expansion begins to create constant pressure on the system and constant pressure on the people, that's a telltale sign that something is very wrong.
You are very correct. You are very correct. And the damaging effects of this is that it affects resilience in business.
Very
So
true.
if we now look at resilience, building business resilience in business, because that is what some of these things are speaking to. What practical steps can businesses take today to build resilience and remain sustainable despite economic uncertainty?
Okay. So the first one is I know that some people will be fast to say diversify, but before you diversify, you must be clear about your service offerings. Be very clear about who you are serving and what you are serving each segment of your market, right? So be clear about your market segments. You must be clear about your internal processes, your procedures, your policies. So if someone needs to do something, what's the process? If somebody needs to maybe have a diagnostic assessment or a needs assessment for a client, what is the process to follow? So you must be very clear about your processes, your procedures, and your policies. You must diversify, yes, but be clear about each market segment and what you offer to them. And of course, you must remain flexible enough to adapt because times are changing and you must be flexible enough to adapt to the changes over time. And then you must also strengthen customer relationships because relationship is everything.
Hmm. Very true. Very, very true. So we now have to look from that angle what investment decisions we can take. This is also a difficult period when we are talking of investment decision.
Very
How
true.
should business owners decide whether to reinvest profits, reserve cash, or expand operations?
Hmm. Okay, so I think that decision would depend on the financial health of the business, current market realities, and the operational readiness of each business. It's not a one size fits all. So
Yeah.
someone might have cash reserve and they're in a fairly stable economy, reinvestment and expansion will make sense to that person. But for people who are in a highly volatile environment, cash reserves might be best. So find ways to keep your cash reserves and keep it handy just in case anything happens.
Anything
So
happen.
businesses must decide based on their financial health. What do you have in your hand, right? You must understand what you have in your hand to know what you can do with it. It will be foolhardy to have lean cash reserves and then you start to reinvest when you don't know what would happen in the next minute or in the next 3 months. So for a highly volatile environment, I think, in my opinion, I think that preserving cash may be the wisest course of action.
Okay. Like you said, no two businesses are alike. You have to assess your own situation, even though sometimes because of this issue of inflation and all that, people are worried about keeping cash because at the end of
Cash,
the day,
yes.
it's losing value by the day.
Yeah,
So you
well,
have to
that's
be able
where
to balance.
financial literacy would come in. That's where
Yes,
financial literacy would come in. So even with your cash reserves, you need to know where you can keep it to get the leanest margin of loss, the leanest loss margin in the event of inflation.
you are right. So we now look at other part of business angle. We talked about investment, we talked about structure and all that. The the people and human capital,
Mm,
because that is also key. So how important is staff welfare,
hmm.
leadership culture, and human capital development when discussing long-term business stability?
So your people, I like to say my people are everything. I tell my team every day that I don't I feel as though my team makes me look good, right? So if my team is not satisfied, or if the workplace is not healthy, if they are not motivated, then they cannot drive the goals of the business as well as they ought to. So I believe that yes, a system is beautiful, but it is people who will drive the system. So businesses grow through people. I believe that a motivated team, healthy work culture, and a good work-life balance. I mean, see people for who they are, not just for what they can bring to the table, right? If they feel as though they belong, if they feel as though you care, I promise you they will take your business like it's theirs most of the time. Of course, you always have the exceptions to the rule, but know that a strong leadership style will be to place your people first. So, people centered leadership, empathetic leadership will ensure loyalty, will ensure productivity, and ultimately long term stability.
That is true, very correct. So we have to be mindful to look beyond numbers, to look
Yes,
beyond bottom line. In fact, these are people that can enhance the bottom line eventually.
exactly.
So you need to be intentional in making sure that you create the reality and whatever makes them comfortable in your business.
Very true.
Okay, we've talked about all that. Now, what of digitalization or digital transformation? Because these days you can hardly talk about anything without technology or this. So technology is rapidly changing business models.
Yeah.
How can businesses embrace innovation without destabilizing their operations financially?
Okay, so for people who know me personally, they will laugh at this question because I tell them all the time that I'm the class captain of the Lazy People Association of Nigeria. So I'm constantly looking for faster, smarter ways to get it done without compromising my core values. So technology is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I believe that every business that is serious about standing the test of time must employ technology in different ways to simplify their process. So I'll give you a practical example. A couple of years ago, when we were conducting quality assurance, monitoring and evaluation checks for schools, my team would go to each classroom and they would fill out the report, the observation report, and then when they fill it out, they submit it to the admin. Admin will compile results per school. It was very cumbersome. It was very difficult, to put together. So we just used technology to simplify that process. We turned all observation forms to digital copies, and then we even had them in phases. So if one consultant is going to a school to observe, you know what you are going to observe. You fill your reports in real time. The admin is receiving it in real time. Results are being compiled in real time. And you find out that it makes the process seamless. So technology is not going to take the jobs of competent people. Technology is just going to take over a lot of repetitive processes. So people who are serious about their businesses will find the repetitive processes within their business and digitize it so that their people work smarter, save time, and are more efficient and effective with whatever they do. So the things that technology cannot do for you, they will spend more time on those things, while technology just takes the repetitive parts and makes it easier and cuts time as well.
Correct. That is, in a way, looking for comparative advantage, things that you can get faster and more result mileage from if you use
True.
technology. So why do you want to slave yourself and then you may not even get it correctly done? So
Exactly.
so it's the age of just look at your system and look at where you can take advantage of technology. That's it. There's no running away from technology these days. So
Very
that's
true.
that is very true. So we have looked at having reserve and possibly using that to scale up. But when you do not have reserve, like money, extra money, you definitely have to look the other way in terms of maybe debt. So how would you say this is a good time for businesses to take loans for expansion, or should businesses minimize debt exposure right now?
Okay, so debt in itself is not bad, but businesses must ensure that they have a stable cash flow and a means for repayment, a clear, sustainable means for repayment before they approach loans. The reason for this is
And what
um
the loan is going to be used for?
exactly. Sometimes as business owners, we are overly optimistic
Mhm.
and we take loans not based on data. We take loans based on faith or based on projections that don't have any backing,
Yeah.
right? Any data backing. So everyone that wants to expand and do it by debt, they must make data informed decision. What is your data telling you? What are your numbers telling you? It should be based on strong data, not based on pressure or based on competition or based on the bandwagon effect. Everybody they do them. No. it must be based on data and there must be a clear repayment strategy. I'm stressing it because I've been burned before. And so I know I'm speaking from a very
from
personal, deep
experience.
place. Yes.
So it's something we need to really take cognizance
Substance of,
of.
yes, ma'am.
It's important not to be really objective, analyzing and getting sure that you are matching the numbers before you go ahead and so it's not
In,
just having
indeed.
money to repay. Is the debt going to add value in terms of what you are using the debt to finance and things like that?
Exactly. And your
So
return on investments as well.
mhm. So thank you for that. Then we now look at balancing ambition and caution.
Mm.
How can business leaders, because like you said, some business owners they are overtly optimistic. So how can business leaders maintain ambition and pursue opportunities while still exercising caution and protecting the future of the organization?
Okay, so in my opinion, it's two words: optimism and discipline. So as a business owner or business leader, you must constantly believe the best, believe that better days are coming, believe that something good is on the horizon, but you must be very disciplined with that. So even when you get fantastic ideas, make sure that you go through the proper planning process of the ideas. So I'll give a perfect example with my team. So for me, I'm a dreamer, right? I sit down and I dream up these crazy dreams, and sometimes I ask myself, who sent me? But I have a team on ground, my team of directors. So before now, I was functioning as the only director. But when we re-strategized, and then we now have
Collaborate,
three. Yes, we now have three different
collabo.
directors. While I'm currently sitting as a CEO. So what happens is, if I bring up these beautiful ideas of mine, before now I was flying by the seat of my pants, and if I try it and it works, hooray! If I try it and I get burnt, I get burnt. But now I'm having a system where I have to be accountable to
Consideration
the
for others.
directors. Yes. So if I have an idea, in as much as it sounds excellent, I must take it to my team. And we have a process that it goes through to say, okay, to check the viability of each idea. So sometimes by the time it goes through that process, you find out that it might be a great idea, but the wrong time. So that is saved in the not yet folder. It might be a great idea, but it's not for us. An outright no. It might be a great idea. Hey, come on, let's do it, and we move forward with it. So leaders, you must believe the best, but you must set up a system where it puts your dreams, or it puts your ideas in check, and it goes through a viability process, so that you avoid impulsive decisions. So wisdom is about balancing your vision with responsibility. Remember that as visionary as you are, you have bills to pay. At the end of the month, you're not going to tell your staff that, well, I did something, and the business, the cash flow, there's no money now, but it is well. It is well, it's not going to pay their bills. So you must pay them. So at some point, you must balance your vision with responsibility. You must balance your vision with discipline. You must understand that even though you are the captain of the ship, there are people assigned to work with you for a reason. These people might be seeing things you may not see. So set up an accountability system that checks the viability of your optimistic, crazy ideas, so that you balance it.
It's like a reality check.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Like if we are looking at, okay, you being our expert, what would be your final advice if you had one major piece of advice for business owners navigating uncertainty today? What would it be?
Okay, so what I would tell everyone watching is, you must build businesses that don't just thrive in good seasons, but they also survive difficult seasons. Sustainability should be a major part of every decision that you make. How will this decision affect your business 5 years from now? How will it affect your business 3 years from now? So you must learn that there are times and seasons in business, just like there are times and seasons in life. So you must build businesses that survive difficult seasons and not just thrive in good seasons, so that year in, year out, rain can come, wind can blow, but you are still standing.
Very correct. So we have to really appreciate you highly. You
Thank you so
have
much.
done excellently well, giving great insight to all these burning questions that you've been asking. It's been an enlightening and deeply, for me, deeply practical conversation because you really kept it down so that people can relate with it. It's highly relatable.
Thank you,
Today's
ma'am.
discussion reminds us that sustainable success in business is not simply about making money or making more money. It is
Absolutely.
about building systems, structures, and leadership style that, that has the capacity of propelling us for greater future. Financial discipline and resilience that can withstand uncertainty and changing economic conditions. All these our guests has alluded to, and it's important for us to really make sure that we get the real meat of this discussion so that it will help our businesses. Wealth is important, no doubt. Growth is also important, but
Very true.
profitability is important, while stability is very, very important.
Done.
Sustainability, adaptability, and all sound decision making are equally critical for long-term business survival. And that's why she just gave that example. It might look on the surface very rosy, very correct, but if you do not have reality check, even if you are the only director, not in her case that she has other director, you can go outside your company and sound people on the ideas that you are thinking about, and you get some benefit of cross fertilization of ideas. It's very
Very
important
true.
for us not to say we know it all, and then we risk going the other way. So it's very enlightening for me. Business must understand that wealth without stability is fragile, while stability without growth can also become stagnation.
Stagnation. Yeah.
The goal is choosing one over the other is not right, but how you build your business, having the view of aligning one with the other to have a healthy balance between profitability, sustainability, resilience, and long-term value creation is very, very key. Businesses that will thrive in this season are those that remain disciplined in told that, adaptable, strategic, and financially wise. Know the investments you go into so you don't burn
Exactly.
your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
At least you don't lose the little. If you cannot make it better, don't lose the little you have with you. So to everyone who joined us today, we want to thank you for your time, for your engagement, participation, and some that have given comments along the line. We thank you for your thoughtful comments. And before we appreciate our guests, I would like to recognize the names of those that I have seen joining us today. Our regulars, Taiwo Ojo from Abuja, Dr. Abel Asein from Abuja, Bayo Banjo from Lagos, Femi Daisini from Lagos. Then I'm sure these are friends of Susan. I have Big Sane. I don't know. That's at Big Sane. I don't know the full name, but that's the email address.
That's Dr. Anne. I know that person.
Okay, doctor.
Dr. Anne
Okay,
family one.
okay, that's good. Then we have Shileola Akinbowale also streaming from Ibadan. Thank you, my sister, for joining us. Then there's elocution mastery with Nkechi. Perhaps you know you know that person, or maybe it's just one of our other audience.
I
Dr.
think I know
Aseyin,
that person as well.
okay, Dr. Aseyin is saying, I love our submission. Sorry, I'm sorry. I love our submission that ideas must go through processes before decisions to undertake or to otherwise is taken. Well, I believe what you are trying to say is that it is essential we go through processes like she has rightly told us, so that we do not make mistake. It's better, like they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's better to take all the necessary precautions, go through the whole process. Like the example she gave, there are some that is for yet an appointed time. You can keep in the cooler and come back to it. There are some that are not even for you at all, even as good as they may look. So it's very important for us to recognize our limitation, to recognize what we can and we cannot do. Thank you very much, Dr. Aseyin, for that beautiful contribution. So, on behalf of our entire audience and Connect with Comfort crew, I want to specially appreciate our special guest for today, Susan Charles. She has done wonderfully well, made us proud, shared great knowledge and experience with us on this very unique topic, and the great insights she has shared are very valuable. They are practical wisdom, and I'm sure would impact positively some people's life and businesses. And we thank you for doing that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the great insight. God bless you. So, for our teaming audience, if you find this session valuable, which I want to believe you do, please don't forget to share it with someone who needs this message. And most importantly, take action. And until next time, when I come your way again, remain productive, remain resilient, and continue building businesses that create both wealth and lasting value. Thank you all for being part of the show again. Next week is another time, God's willing. Please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Comfort Eyitayo. Once you have done so, turn on the notification button, like and share our videos. Stay updated with information about our upcoming events, solutions, and offers on my Instagram account at Comfort Eyitayo, as well as my Facebook account at Comfort Eyitayo. I look forward to seeing you all at our next conversation. Once again, I want to appreciate our resourceful guests and all you, our online audience. Stay blessed. Have a wonderful new month ahead. June is knocking, and God will make it a blessed month for all of us.